All right, let's bring in our NHL analyst, Frankie Corrado. So, Frankie, this series takes a complete 360 from Game 4 to now. The Leafs force a Game 7 with a big home ice win. So, Frankie, I mean, was it the switch in net for Toronto that was the biggest reason for this series and it being all tied up now, or what do you think?
There's a number of reasons why the series is where it's at, but goaltending has to be the biggest. And listen, Toronto is still not filling the back of the net. Another game where they only score 2 goals, but they're not giving up the easy one against. It's not the leaky one that's going in for them. And Joseph Woll has instilled a confidence in this group that is allowing them to play a little more free. And the Maple Leafs did a really good job in this game playing in front of him. They blocked 27 shots. Joseph Woll made 22 saves. Like, there was a lot of urgency, but the team looks more comfortable. He looks calm in the net. And let's call a spade a spade. If Joseph Woll played better coming back from his high ankle sprain injury, he would have been the goaltender that started this series. At times, he was giving up the first shot of the game, was a goal. He was letting in leaky goals against. Samsonov got the start, but Joseph Woll, when he came in, made the saves that he needed to make, and now has instilled a sense of confidence within the group that has allowed them to get to this point.
Well, William Nylander missed the first 3 games of this series with an undisclosed injury, but in Game 6, he came up with a huge performance in a must-win game. So, Frankie, I mean, what made him so effective in this game?
Just dynamic William Nylander, the same guy that we saw in the first half of the regular season where his game was at his best, the guy we saw before the big contract extension. And William Nylander has that mindset where it feels like he is made for these kinds of bigger moments. And, you know, one of the things that always stands out about Willie is the fact that he will play his game no matter what. And sometimes it's going to lead to the odd turnover, but at times it can lead to a goal like this that ends up going off of Charlie McAvoy and a dynamic play at the offensive blue line. And, you know, for William Nylander, he gets this breakaway goal. It's another moment for him where it's a clutch play by one of your best players. You don't have Austin Matthews in this game. You need one of your best players to step up because the power play hasn't been good. The offense hasn't necessarily been there for the Maple Leafs, but on this night, William Nylander had his moment, just like Austin Matthews had his moment earlier in the series.
All right, looking ahead to Game 7, in your opinion, which club is feeling the most pressure to win here? Is it the Bruins, who could potentially blow a 3-1 series lead in consecutive playoffs, or the Leafs, who have their Game 7 demons with the Bruins?
I get the Game 7 demons with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but it is the Boston Bruins. It has to be, just with the way this series has gone, and there's 2 very different feelings right now in both those locker rooms. The Maple Leafs are getting on a plane, and it's going to be loud, it's going to be lively, there's a lot of chatter. The Boston Bruins, that's a somber dressing room. That's a lot of guys that are looking back at last year saying, we've done this before, we've seen this situation, and we know how it ended, and we didn't like it. So for both these teams, it's a very different feeling. And the Leafs, with the way they've been able to come on strong in the second half of this series, they have applied the pressure to the Boston Bruins. All the expectations were on Boston to close out this series. And now, if they don't get it done, that's going to be 2 years in a row where they blow 3-1 series leads when they had no business doing so. But give the Leafs a lot of credit. They've battled their way back into this series, and the Boston Bruins don't seem to have an answer for it. And that is where the pressure lies, because Toronto has played much better than Boston the last couple games.
Fair enough. Leafs force a Game 7 in a series after trailing the series for a 4th time in franchise history.